Howdy, folks. Marvin Forte here with your fourth episode of the KFNW Current. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. I'm getting over a cold, so if I sound a little froggy, that's why. My apologies. I don't have a whole lot of kayak news for you tonight. We're going to talk to a couple of sponsors. I've got Jim Cary and Steve Carroll in the queue. We're going to be talking to them. One thing I did want to put out there is if you've got a YouTube channel, please connect with me and get me a link to that. I just discovered Anthony Booth's channel, who's a KFNW member, and was looking at a couple of his videos, so that's great. I'd like to connect on YouTube from the KFNW channel with everybody who's got a YouTube channel, and we can do a little promotion there, and we can do a little promotion here when we see some cool stuff come by. Brandon Hua and Michael Jarvis just went out for a couple of trips and did pretty well. Brandon caught a 6.8 pound largemouth, which this time of year that's quite a feat. So in this time when we can't get out and fish as much, it's nice to be able to at least look at the videos. All right, well let's get right into it. I'm gonna do a little shout out to all of our sponsors right now that we've named so far. Of course, Diamond Parking and Diamond Self Storage. Jim's going to be on with me a minute to talk about that. They are our presenting sponsor this year. Native Watercraft. They obviously are doing the Native Watercraft No Limit Big Bass Power Hour with us on potholes. And we're going to be giving away a kayak to one lucky winner there. And they are also a sponsor again for KFNW, and we will be giving away another Titan X, just like we did in 2025. At the end of the year, we'll be giving that away. And then last but not least, Northwest Tackle, who are our media sponsor this year. Congrats and welcome them into the fold as well. Let's see. We've got, it looks like you guys can see me. J-Lat just said another great video upcoming. Great. Can't wait to see it. All right. Well, with that, let's bring Jim on. Where are you, Jim? Right there. Jim.
Hey, Marvin.
On the water, even. That's great. It was good. Jim came on with a green screen, so it gave me a chance to play around with that and see how it works and the software. So it's working great.
Trying to make this look as professional as possible.
That's right. I need to do that. You see my office in the background here. But yeah, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. And I can't thank you enough for your support over the last few years. I remember, I think the first time I met you was at Three Rivers Tackle for like a Wallula event. I knew your name from fishing some of the Washington events, but that was the first time I got to see you in person. And that's one thing I wanted to ask you about is, like, I know you came in when KFNW was already kind of getting bigger and growing. So I wanted to hear your feedback as an angler about it too, because you do fish our events. But then of course I want to talk about Diamond too, and what Diamond's doing and why you and they choose to support KFNW.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me on. I think this is going to be my fifth season with the group here, and in fact, 5 years ago was my first season doing this. So on the kayak. So it's been fun. It's been a huge learning curve for me. I did fish before, but not bass fishing specifically. It was more like trout and salmon fishing and stuff like that. So my really good friend, my best friend, Jason Carlson, he's like, hey, I've been doing these tournaments and you should really look into it. And he got me hooked up.
That's great.
With a discount, and he went and got my kayak and brought it to me. He met me halfway. He was so invested in me joining. So it was great. And I've been just really enjoying everything. And I was really into the monthlies. That was really fun for me to just go out and, it always came down to that last day and just trying to see if I could outmuscle another angler. And sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. But
Sure.
and then for the actual tournaments, I kind of feel like I do okay. I would always, I'm always trying to improve. I think I'm usually in the top 10-ish, usually somewhere in there. And my
You
goal
do
this year is
well. You did
I,
well this year. You were one of those people. There were only a few, but you were one of those people that got in with that late change that we made, where we took like the top 10% of AOY, because we had
yeah,
said we were just going to take the top 10% from each event,
right.
and you didn't quite make that, but you were
We're on the cusp.
you were on the cusp of it. And so, like, I know off the top of my head, you and Lacey Duggar were two that made it that way, that you were in the
Yeah,
top 10% of
and Jeff was
AOY.
in the middle of that too, and it was kind of like this muscle, like back and forth. That last tournament, we were really, I mean, it was make or break for all three of us.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
um,
And he had a tough day. He had a tough time at
unfortunately,
CJ.
it would have been fun
Yeah,
for everyone to be in that,
they would have.
but
They would have. But
um,
yeah, I thought that was cool, and we're going to do that again this year because that worked out. We didn't know with it being a new format if we were going
yeah,
to get very many people that way or not, but it turned out we did get a few, and the people we got, I was really happy that, like you, I was happy to get them in there because they had solid, consistent seasons, and that's what it's all about, of course, with AOI.
yeah. I
And
feel
then you
like
had you had a really good day, one of the 2 days on the Classic.
yeah, unfortunately I figured out what to do on the
On day
very
two.
end of day one. On day one,
Oh, at the end of day one.
on
Okay.
day two, I kind of had an idea of what to do, but I was just kind of searching for that last fish all day long. So I think if I would have got, I had actually Dan was right by me, and I had a nice one on, and it would have definitely helped me out tremendously. And it broke off right at the boat, and just like everyone else's stories, but it really happened. And
It does. It
that was
happens.
disappointing.
That's
But
too bad.
yeah, I always have fun. It's always fun to to talk with the other fishermen and learn new things. And there's a lot of really strong fishermen in this group, and it really helps learn and you know find out new techniques that I wouldn't have even thought of. And
Absolutely.
so it's nice.
Banjo Minnow. I always
Yeah,
recommend strongly. Yeah, it's true. I mean, I've learned a lot from and made a lot of friends through it as well. It's fantastic in that way.
yeah. So for you, like, how did you get started in kayak fishing? Did you do the
So
same thing, or
my story is I grew up fishing quite a bit. I was born in the South, and my dad had fished for a lot of his younger adult life. And so when I was little, he had me, I was fishing for brim, as they call them in the South. But yeah, bluegill and red ear shell crackers. And that's probably the first fish I ever caught was probably a bluegill or a red ear or something like that. I don't remember that. But then we moved to New Jersey, southern New Jersey, when I was about 7. And he would take me fishing there. And I would do a little bit of saltwater, but I liked freshwater fishing. So I did a lot of freshwater fishing there. And again, I'd fish for usually like redbreast sunfish, which are really, really cool looking sunfish, kind of like a bluegill. And I'd fish for them with worm and a bobber and stuff as a kid. And I was about 9 or 10 years old. And my bobber's out there. And, when you're fishing for bluegill with bait like that, you see the bobber and it'll go because, they just are hammering the bait. Well, this
yeah,
time I had the bait out there and I see the bobber and it just goes just ever so slowly. It just sinks below the surface. And I'm like, what's going on? And so I started to reel in and pulled, and all of a sudden, boom, and this big, like 5-pound largemouth jumps out of the water. I'm fighting it. I bring it in. And of course, that was it. I was hooked from that point on. I was like, oh, okay, I got to do that again. I got to find more of those. So that's kind of my backstory and how I got started. When I kind of became a young adult, I kind of got out of fishing for a long time. And then it goes back to my dad again. My dad moved out to Arizona. I was living in Arizona then. This was probably, Probably around 2010 or so. And I was dating a woman then who had a young son. He was like 10 years old and he was getting into fishing. So I'm like, well, yeah, let's do it. So I got fishing gear and we started going fishing and stuff. And I got totally back into it. And then my dad moved to Arizona and he and I started going fishing again a lot. You know, he was in his late 70s. So we could only go certain places that he could access really. But we started fishing a lot together, like every weekend. And unfortunately, he passed away a few years later, but we had a few years there at the end of his life where we really got to spend a lot of time together and a lot of time
That's
fishing.
awesome.
And that's when I discovered kayak fishing. I saw these kayaks and saw them online and stuff, and I was like, oh, that looks awesome. That looks like it'd be great. And so right after my dad passed away, I picked up my first kayak in about 2014 and started.
Oh, okay.
Started kayak fishing. So yeah, I've been
What
doing
was
it.
do you remember what your first kayak was?
Yeah, Slayer, native watercraft, Slayer 12,
Oh, wow. Native all the way, huh?
paddle kayak from the beginning. Yeah,
Wow. So how
hardcore.
did you transition to get on to, because you're like a brand ambassador for, or and part of the development team for the Native, right?
Yeah,
How did that all happen?
well, I had the Slayer 12, and it was a noticeable kayak. It was lime green. It was like you could see it from a mile away. That was intentional. Yeah, there were a lot of boats in Arizona. I wanted people to see me, and there was a dealer there who reached out to me. They were selling natives at the time, and the dealer's still there. And he said, "Hey, I see you like that native. What do you think about getting on the native team?" Because I was really active running there's a Facebook group there that was really active, and I was planning events, and we'd go and float the Salt River and stuff. So that was always a lot of fun. So I was kind of, making myself known, and I was in a native. So he said, "Do you want to get on the team?" I'm like, "Sure, absolutely." And so then I just worked my way up from there and got more and more involved.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
And then when you came, then you moved to Portland like 6 years ago, is that right?
I moved to Oregon in 2017.
Oh, okay, so it's
And then Portland proper just a few years ago, 2022, Portland proper. I was southeast of Portland, out in the country, when I first moved here. And the backstory there is Aaron Roberts was running OKBF then, and WAKBF was running, but it wasn't a part of OKBF. And Aaron Roberts was running OKBF, and he had this plan to come together with WAKBF and to start a new division in Idaho called IKBF. And he had this idea for KFNW, and he wrote me in to help him with like some of the logo design, things like that. And then his life kind of got the better of him, and he was like, I can't do it. Will you take it over? So I had said I didn't want to do that. I was like, I just want to have fun and fish and stuff. Because my first year here, I just competed. I didn't run anything really. I mean,
yeah.
I helped with one event that he couldn't show up, but that was it. But then after that, yeah, I got into running it, and it's just kind of taken off from there.
Yeah, I mean, you do a great job. I think
Oh,
everyone's
thanks.
really happy with how everything goes. And I mean, tournament day, it seems smooth as butter. I'm sure it's not the same on the back end, but for us, it seems, I mean, I just get on the water and fish, have a great time. And
That's great.
I
I
show up
love
to
to
the
hear
award
that.
ceremony, and there you are. It works great.
That's super. I love to hear that. That makes my day.
Yeah, well, I appreciate your hard work. I know it's not easy. It's got to be super difficult to get this all put together. So
No, it's all good. So tell me a little bit about Diamond, about both divisions. The parking, of course, we all know about. We see Diamond everywhere for parking, and there's a lot of Diamond lots here in Portland, and I use them whenever I can. But
yeah, I mean,
the self storage, is that only in Spokane or a few other places?
so we have self-storage in Spokane, and then we also have an Airway Heights, which is right outside of Spokane at the military base there, Fairchild Air Force Base.
Got it.
And we also have, we just opened up a new location to add to our two other ones in Alaska. So we have three now in Anchorage. And
Wow.
then we have two locations in Salt Lake City. So That's my job. Is I'm a regional manager. Those are my locations, and so I
Okay.
oversee all the storage for the company, and then just help out with parking if something comes up that needs
Sure.
help. But for the most part, I'm just storage only. But the nice thing about Diamond is they're family owned, and they started in 1922, so they're over 100 years old. They've been around forever, and it's nice. I can call up the owner and talk to him, and I don't have to worry about the corporate stuff like from previous jobs
Yeah.
where it's all set in stone. I can run by ideas and that kind of stuff, and it feels like you're part of the family. You're helping out. You want them to succeed, and so it's a nice atmosphere. And they have a huge reach for parking, and they have parking. They have marinas. They have tons of real estate stuff. So they have apartments and retail space, and I think 2,100 lots. So those parking lots that you're seeing.
Yeah, they're everywhere. I mean,
Yeah, and it's not it's California, it's Utah, it's Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, and then they're in Hawaii and Alaska, and then Canada. So you got Alberta and British Columbia. So they've got the whole West Coast kind of locked in.
yeah.
So if you're in a major metro area, you should be able to find Diamond. If you go to their website, diamondparking.com, you can see all the lots that we have, and to show your support to us. If you're going to an event, you're going to a baseball game or something like that, if you look on that map, find a Diamond lot and park in it, that helps us out and shows your support. So, and then if you need storage and you're in the northern, or the eastern Washington, northern Idaho section, feel free to reach out. I'll give you the deal you can't resist.
That's
So,
great. I wish you had that in Portland, because I do have a unit here that I have to use for KFNW for all the stuff we
Oh,
have,
yeah.
and I wish
Yeah,
I could get a Diamond space
yeah,
here.
and our,
But
our Spokane location it's over 1,800 units. It's one of the largest in the country, actually.
wow,
So
that's crazy big.
yeah.
And
we have
did you
great staff.
like big drive-in kind of spaces as well, or is it mostly
We have everything. We have everything.
everything? With that
We
big,
have,
I would
I
imagine
think
you
we have over
do.
90 different sizes now. So if you have a huge one of those really fancy $1 million RVs and you want a garage for it, we have that option. Or if you're a college student and you just need to store your stuff for the summer,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have that. So we kind of have everything,
that's awesome.
and we have climate controlled, and I mean we try to fit everyone's needs and give them a storage option for that. So
Well, that's great.
yeah. So
Well, it's if there's anything else you can think of you want to talk about, let's do it. But otherwise, I can cut you loose. It's been great having you on.
I got nothing else. I appreciate you having me on, and so we could talk a little diamond and a little bit about fishing. That's the best part. I mean, we're in the middle of winter, and I want to go fishing right now. So
Amen. Well, we did when I went out and shot a video with Kegan on my hammer and comparing it to the Titan X. And so we went out and we did a little fishing while we were out there. Water was like 49, but it's been such a mild winter. That's why we're seeing people out there fishing still even now.
So I guess I have one more question, and
Yeah.
it's about native. So you've got the new hammer out and the new Titan. Which one are you fishing this year?
The hammer. I
Wow.
sold my Titan. I did
Okay.
sell my Titan X. Yeah, the hammer's the one for me because it fits more my style. I go over a lot of that in the video, but it's more my style of kayak. It's a little lighter. It's a little bit narrower. It's not as stable. It's a little more nimble. Turns well. So it's a little more my sweet spot. But yeah, that's what I'll be using this year.
Okay, cool.
And the LTE. I've got the LTE, which is a little 10-foot, real lightweight one, and I use it more as a pond hopper and stuff. And Margaret uses it when we go out together. So, but I might bring it for some of the events too, and use that here and there. We'll see.
Yeah. Nice. All right.
Cool.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on, and we'll have you back. Hopefully we'll have you back from being on the podium.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, that'd be good.
All right. See you, Jim.
Thanks.
Let's see. We had a couple more comments. Chris Corson asked, what part of Jersey? South Jersey. So I was in a little town called Absecon and Galloway Township. So not far from Atlantic City. And Jay Ladd asked, are there multiple launch spots at Potholes or just the main launch? There'll be multiple launches. There's about 5 or 6 launches that we'll be using there. There's one we won't be able to use because there is a boat tournament going on at the same time. So there will be one that will be off limits, but the rest of them should be open. All right. With that, let's bring in Mr. Steve Carroll from Snake River. Let's see. There he is. Let's unmute you, Steve. I'm sorry. I clicked on it and we both did. I'll let you do it. I still can't hear you. There we go. Now you're on.
Okay.
Now we can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
That's great.
All right. So,
well, welcome.
So thank you very much for having me on. Appreciate you for the invite and for the opportunity. So yeah, I'm out here in the middle of Nevada.
Tell us about that.
We just it's just fantastic, man. We had an angler who just loved to get out. She's 75 years old, and she was looking for something to make her life easier with the kayaks and the kayak trailers. And she ultimately went with one of our doubles with a dual rock and roller setup. So, you know, when you get to that age, I felt like, hey, you know, this person has done their time. I am going to personally go out there and make sure that her boats are set up perfectly for our trailer system so that she is not on the ground. As a 75-year-old woman, it blows me away that she's still active enough and able enough to get out in a paddle kayak, but her love and her passion for the sport is unmatched. And I'm so impressed. So made
That's
the drive
awesome.
down and almost forgot about the podcast. So I'm outside of Starbucks. I have to wear the glasses because these are the meta glasses. So I'm talking to you through the glasses, and that's the only microphone that I had, or there was going to be a bunch of echoing. So
We
it's
tried
also
it.
super cool.
We tried it earlier. You tried putting them up on your head, and I couldn't hear you. The mic didn't work when you did that. So that's why you're wearing your sunglasses at night.
Yeah, stunner shades, right? Yeah. So, no, thank you very much for everything that you've done. Matter of fact, you know, kind of a little bit about the story about Snake River. You know, I attribute a lot of it to Marvin Forte, right? Years ago when he put on that NRS Open, you know, NRS and, you know, KFNW, I think you guys just did such a phenomenal job picking that lake. You know, if heaven has a fishing hole.
Dwarshak, you mean, yeah.
Yep. If heaven has a fishing hole, it's Dwarshak. So, you know, I went out there and, you know, that was also where we ran into the first customer. His name was Ivan Cruz. He saw what we had built for our trailer, and he said, "Where did you get that?" And I said, "Well, this was a big rod locker."
Yeah.
He said, "Where did you get that?" And I said, "We didn't buy it. We built it." And he says, "Well, do you sell them?" And I said, "I do now." And those were those Gen 1. So that's kind of where the name came from too. So Marvin and his wonderful tournament management had brought me back into the sport and immediately fell in love with it all over again. And, you know, really decided to take a deep dive into the Snake River lockers and also Snake River manufacturing. It was about 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And, you know, now we get the opportunity with the successes that we found to come in and, you know, give thanks to you guys, to our entire team, the team, everybody that competes, everybody that fishes, everybody that participates. Everyone has extremely unique stories. And man, I just love connecting with people. Trey Potts, when we delivered his trailer, he didn't even know that he was getting a trailer.
That's
his
so
grandmother surprised him with it, and just a pure heart of gold. Oh my goodness, I just love hearing those stories. And the cool thing about, you know, doing the KFNW thing is we're really giving back to the guys who gave us our start, and we will never forget that. If we can come back every year, we will 100%. So big thank you, Marvin. So
thank you.
I wanted to talk. Thanks. It's kind of cold, so I kind of wanted to kind of fly through a little bit of this things out here.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
I think it's like 30 something, and I've just got a little thin jacket on. So the rock and rollers on our trailers, right? They were pretty innovative. innovative, however you say that word. And they solved a bunch of problems, but they also created a bunch of problems. So some of the things that we're looking forward to for this year are solutions to the problems that we create. We're also one of those problems looks like, these rollers, they make the kayak trailer, they make the kayaks just want to fly right off the back. They're so easy to pull off now. Well, for the guys that power launch and power load, let's build an auto launch, auto load bow stop. So when you look at the Native and the Hammer and the XTR, they got these metal D-rings, and we're working on those designs to make those adjustable bow stops happen so that we can create dynamic solutions for the evolving market. So that's coming down the road, and we're also going to be doing some doubling down on the DIY stuff. So that's a big element for 2026 is making your kayak trailer your own. We essentially want to do what Yak Attack did for the rigging your kayak market. We want to do the same thing, but for your kayak trailers. We want to be able to do it effectively and ship them all over the country quickly. We learned a lot from 2025 and 2024, and a lot of those lessons were painful, right? What were our big failure points? One is customer communication was a big one. We lost some orders. We had some refunds. Two, what was another failure for us? It was long lead times. Well, how do we take care of that? How do we not repeat those problems in 2026? So we're looking at those solutions, and the biggest thing just means investing a whole bunch of money into inventory so that we sell out of inventory rather than build per project. So the goal for 2026 is also to kind of become like the Amazon Prime of kayak trailers, where if you want to buy a premium kayak trailer, essentially we've already got multiples of them made, and we bolt on the accessories. But that takes a significant investment, which brings me to my next point. The Snake River manufacturing arm of the business has been very blessed, which is kind of the main reason why we're able to do this with the KFNW and the Snake River Lockers arm is, because we were able to steal a bunch of manufacturing back from China and Mexico, which is fantastic. We had some local Boise companies that reached out to us that loved what we were doing with laser beams for laser welding, laser cutting. And, we had the opportunity to bid some projects, and we won some pretty big contracts. And, it's a bunch of repeat work, and, all of that's going to go right back into the core, heart, and soul of the business, which is the kayak trailers and the DIY stuff. So I'm out here living my American dream, getting to build the things that I want to build, getting to talk to the customers that I want to talk to. Even if people have got constructive criticism, man, if people want to tell me that, hey, this is not the best design, I think you should do it like this, we're very open. That's that collaborative engineering element to what we do here. One other thing that I wanted to talk about too is there's a saying, when the tide comes in, all ships rise, right?
I've heard that.
Well, there's a bunch of people in our industry, other kayak trailer manufacturers on other sides of the country, not big by any means. We're looking at some small guys, and we're looking at doing some partnerships with some small guys to be able to sell quite a few of our unique products to them to help increase their value, to increase their endurance, to increase, their attractiveness on, in that area. So, as we've gotten into these sponsorships, a lot of times different kayak trailers will run into each other, and rather than scare each other off, hey, let's work together. And working with somebody who's also in that same space, that person is sharing your same vision. That person is sharing your same passion. And when you get two of those people together, it's one of those situations where 1 + 1 = 3. I say we didn't put a man on the moon with a one-man team. We put a man on the moon as a country that came together and worked collaboratively. And that's what we're going to be doing in 2026. I won't make the announcement yet. It's none of the big guys that you might be thinking of. Just, some guys that share the same passion, that share the same spark, that, need a little bit of help with some OEM pricing for some fenders, for some enduro spare tire mounts, and some other unique design elements that we're able to provide. So those are the big things that we're looking at.
That's great. I know that's one thing you learned pretty quickly when you started doing this is there weren't good options for you to get some of the components that you needed. So you had to figure out a way to start making them from scratch. And so, yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense for you to leverage that and start selling those components to other trailer manufacturers that you want to partner with. And, you've built your business to scale, which is, I've been to your shop and we've talked a lot about how you do what you do. And that's what always impresses me is you've built it to scale where you really are ready to grow and be bigger. And I think that's going to do it for you. The DIY stuff and the components, I think, are going to be a huge part of your business.
I think so. I think we get a lot of people asking for it, and Jeff Little, he makes this comment. He says, "Steve, if you're building a highway, you need to build all 3 lanes." Well, what does 3 lanes look like? You got a fast lane, a middle lane, and a slow lane, which is also kind of an on-ramp.
Sure.
Well, we have an amazing double when you have an amazing single. So we got fast lane, we got middle lane. But what does the slow lane look like? What does the on-ramp look like? Well, the on-ramp to us looks like supporting the DIY community, because that was the core of where we got started too. Guys in the garage with welders putting stuff together going, what do I need here? Well, if I need this, somebody else is going to need this. What do I got to do to put this together? So, I'm super excited to be a guy who's able to support. Hang on one second. Elko, Nevada, rocking and rolling, rocking out in the middle of the night. So,
nice.
So, I think Key Vang had bought a bunch of our DIY components, and he's built some beautiful trailers down there in California. And I shouted him out. I was like, "Man, those are great. Like, keep going, get after it."
That's great.
Yeah,
cool.
I think the biggest thing is going to be those rock and roller and rail kits, where you can take any kayak trailer, any utility trailer, truck bed, and be able to put some premium rails on it and put some rock and rollers on it. And the idea is that those will grow with you as you go. So if you want to go from a single kayak trailer to a double kayak trailer, you can simply unbolt those from your single PWC trailer or what have you, and move it over to a larger boat trailer, and get that same versatility. Also, if you already started with a DIY rail kit and you want to go to a full Snake River trailer, those rails will work with our trailers. So everything is being designed with that full modularity in mind. Creating the accessories that can bolt onto our standard profiles, whether it's an enduro spare tire mount, whether it's steps with the walking wings, whether it's interior platforms or different brackets for Yakima topwater boxes. All those things are being thought of so that we can do them over and over and share those designs with you guys, so that you can take what you may already have and make it better in the sense that you get some performance enhancements. Like, watch Brandon Hua, watch that guy, watch his process, watch him launch, man. That guy is on and off the water so fast.
Yeah, he is.
And he's got a process. And, I think a big part of it is just his who he is as a person, as organized as he is. I mean, he's got like a Cabela's in his garage. It's amazing. But he's so detail oriented that he is just like in and out, and he's on our trailer, and he attributes a lot of that time, that cycle time, down to using the trailer, using those rock and rollers, getting on and off the water.
My trailer shows up, which is a modified trailer with a bunch of Snake River components that you helped me out with, thankfully. And it showed up in my last video, and someone commented right away. They're like, "Where'd you get that trailer? What are those rollers on there? How did you get those?" So yeah, I was able. The first day I got a comment about it, so it was great.
That's fantastic. That's working.
Well, Brandon said he's got a better selection than Cabela's. So there you go.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
So with that in mind, and you and I have been talking, we have a bit of an announcement to make about Snake River and KFNW. Let me turn this on right here. Boom. And the top left there, Snake River Manufacturing, back as a sponsor for KFNW this year, but not just a sponsor. our very first ever title sponsor. Thank you so much for being the title sponsor for 2026 for KFNW. You have really ensured that this is going to be a strong year for all of our anglers, and we're going to be able to do the things that we really want to do.
Fantastic.
I appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. A lot of your support has got us to this point, and we couldn't have done it without the boys at KFNW, without Marvin, without the support of guys like Brandon and Ivan, and guys in Texas like Cameron, and there's just so many people that have that run our products that talk about them, and they share the word, and it's so fun to watch this thing grow. Something that I'm so passionate about. I really got to get out there and spend more time on the water. I've been just in the trenches.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that. And, I don't know how much I'm going to be competing this year because I've gotten too busy with running this, but that's cool. I mean, I love doing it for everybody else. They're having a great time, and I'm still going to be out there fishing a lot. I just probably won't be doing as much tournament stuff. But that's okay. I'll be busy those days. Let's see. I have one other thing to do here. Let me switch our view to this. And if you look there, look, there it is right there on the homepage. Snake River Manufacturing Kayak Fishing Northwest Tournament Series presented by Diamond Parking and Self-Storage. So we've already got you on the website. Perfect. There. Excited about it. It's going to be a good year, and thanks in no small part to Snake River and to Diamond for both of you for making us what we are this year. I couldn't have done it without you guys. I couldn't continue to do this. I wouldn't. It gets more expensive and more complicated to run every year, and I couldn't do it if I didn't have your help.
It's not a problem. This is what we do to relax, right? Kayak fishing. It's a way to escape and have fun with your buddies and have a camaraderie that you just don't find anywhere else, really.
That's right.
And I think last year, we had some incredible things happen with the Road. Was it the Road Warrior Challenge that we did? Yeah, it was the Road Warrior Challenge.
Year before last, but yep.
That one was a good one. I really enjoyed that one, and the guy that won that. He's moved down to southern Nevada.
The barge.
Barge. Oh, gosh.
Jason Valentin.
Jason Valentin, that's it. Outdoor Boys, I think is what it.
That's right. That's right. Him and his kids.
I think him and his kids do it. Yeah, and good for him. But that drew a ton of membership. That drew a ton of participation, and the feedback that we get from you guys, the participation levels that we see. Makes us want to double down, and maybe in 2027, what does a tripling down look like? Which brings me to my next point. There's going to be some things on our website, and there's going to be some things that Marvin's going to do, and some other sponsors are going to do. But we want to hear from you guys how you heard about us. Did you click through, Marvin's website? We're trying to measure where traffic is coming from, so that we can attribute, hey, this is, I navigated to the Snake River website and I made a purchase, or, I bought a trailer. On our form, for our sales and contact form, we're going to put a required field for how did you hear about us, so that, every 3 months or so we can check in and, calibrate our strategy, right? Our commercials or our advertisements, if we need to fine tune something or put more of an emphasis on, a product that has done well in the past versus something new that's maybe not doing so well. But just making sure that KFNW gets the credit that they deserve, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They put on a hell of a trail.
Well, thanks.
And we want to know that if you guys, not a problem. I gotta say, Marvin is like, when stressors hit Marvin, he's like a duck. The water just rolls right off of his back. I've never seen someone so calm and collected when the absolute hammer is about to hit the fan. And I a lot of respect for for you, Marvin, for just handling things with such professionalism. Which is a big reason why your trail is doing so well, because everyone looks at what you have got going on and knows that you are a completely impartial guide. It's not one of these systems where you hear about, I'm not going to name any names, but where everybody's equal, but some people are more equal than others. There is no sense of that here. And I just, that's the fairness that we've come to know and love with the way you run business. So,
well, thanks. I really appreciate that. And yeah, it's important to me certainly to keep things as fair. And I mean, we're tough. We're not, we don't slack on it, but yeah, we do try and make sure everything's fair for everybody. And that's important to us. So yeah, I would say the same thing to all of our members that are watching this. If you're looking to get a trailer, or if you know somebody is, or if you're building a new trailer, modifying your Harbor Freight, modifying your jet ski trailer, look at the options that we've got with Snake River. And that's the best way for us to ensure Snake River and KFNW can continue working together this way on down the road, even past 2026. So yeah, if you know somebody, or if you are looking to do something, by all means reach out and make sure that they know that KFNW sent you, so that like Steve said, we get the credit for it.
That's it right there. Is we're tracking data, we're tracking where items are being driven from, where leads are coming from, so that we can make sure that the investments that we're making in sponsorships are investments that are well spent. Right. And how do you do that? You have to have measurable data. And to me, having a way to have that measurable data with Marvin's help, and by being able to provide that attracts other sponsors, because now you're able to go to other sponsors and say, look at the hard data. This is what we did for Snake River. Here's hard measurable data. And, I think it'll be a good thing too for the entire KFNW trail. When more and more sponsors come, because that just means there's more support, more guys that are pushing for the for the Pacific Northwest, which in my opinion, as I've seen in the past, 5, 6, 7 years, there just really hasn't been as much love on the West Coast as you see on the East Coast. And that's a damn shame. So we got to build that system. We got to build that out here. We got to build that, that excitement. We got to build those tournament trails, like Brandon Hua putting that Bassmaster series together. That is freaking huge. Like, that's the motivation that we're looking, like, that's the participation that we're looking for. Good for you, man.
That's great.
Oh, what's that comment?
He's saying 7,000 to 8,000 harsh miles on my trailer in 2025. No issues.
Oh, you gotta re-grease those bearings every 6,000 miles, Brandon. But we should probably recommend 3, because he likes to run over elk and deer and stuff.
Ah, man. Speaking of Door Shack, yeah.
Nothing but love for you, Brandon.
But yeah, that's great. I'm excited about it. You're going to be seeing a lot more of Snake River and Steve this year on this podcast and on our website and throughout everything this year, with them being our title sponsor. They're going to be the most conspicuous sponsor of the year. So, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm very appreciative to have the opportunity to come have a seat at your table, Marvin. And we want to learn, we want to grow. Did we make some missteps in 24 and 25? Absolutely, but we, as humans, have to give ourselves some grace that it's okay to be a beginner at something. It's okay to make a mistake, but it's not okay is to not learn from that mistake. And that's what we're trying to do as we go into the 2026 season, is reflect hard and heavy on, the deals that didn't go through, the deals that, customer wasn't super happy with, and how can we improve that experience? What can we design to attract more, or to bring in, more serious buyers that may be on the fence, or just to help take somebody who might be struggling with their own build and give them the inspiration. I think one of the video series that we've got coming up is going to be taking a Harbor Freight trailer and also a Shorelander trailer and retrofitting it with the Snake River systems and showing a before and after. And you know what? One of the things we might do is, if I'm feeling fresh enough, I just might give those demo trailer systems away to one lucky winner on the KFNW trail.
Great idea. Great idea. Yeah.
So, because so we just want to show off the things you can do, and we need
What
some
you can
more.
do.
We need some more
Yeah.
data.
Sure.
We need some more videos to show that off. So we're gonna make that happen for you guys.
Perfect. Love it. Yeah. Can't wait to get that going.
Well,
Well, you look like you're freezing to death. I'm going to let you get in the truck and get warmed up. But I thank you so much for joining us tonight, and looking forward to a great 2026.
Sounds good, Marvin. Thanks a million. And I tell you, a lot of guys, if you have any ideas or if you have any constructive criticisms, we're completely open. We're what's known as a collaborative engineering group, right? So it's not anybody saying, "Hey, that baby's ugly." Let's learn how to make these systems better. Let's work together. I want to hear your input, whether it's good or bad. I wouldn't have been able to stay alive in manufacturing for over 2 decades if I didn't have thick skin. So give me your worst. Love to hear it, because that's what makes us better. And I appreciate you guys. And thank you again, Marvin, for the platform and the opportunity to serve your team and to serve the KFNW. And I look forward to this beautiful partnership, and I look forward to see what comes of this tournament trail, and how we can continue to grow together.
That's great. Thanks so much, Steve.
Alrighty, I'm gonna get rocking and rolling. I got a couple hours left to go.
All right. Good luck. Safe travels.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Let's see. And Richard had posted there. He's got an order in for his mod stuff. And like Richard said, Steve's never too busy to take your call, and that's for sure true. He is too busy, but he takes it anyway. Is usually the way that goes. Well, I don't have a whole lot else for everybody. Right now, I'm still working primarily on sponsorship stuff, trying to get that all taken care of. It looks like, I don't know if I should announce that one yet. It's a maybe. I've got a maybe. I've got an old sponsor that may be back. And I had a Zoom meeting, a Microsoft Teams meeting with them this morning, and I'm looking forward to bringing them back on board. I think it's going to happen. I'm pretty confident it's going to happen, so I'm excited about that one. I did get I got some gear from Native. I got these groovy hats, which I have one of, which are really cool. Here we go. Let's see if you can see it in there. There it is. Fishing's good here with Native Watercraft. I got some hats we'll be giving away. And some shirts as well. It's got the Native logo there. And then this cowboy fishing on a bass. Saddle up. Nice. So I got those in a couple sizes. We'll be giving away those in the drawings at our events. Looking forward to that. And I think that's about it. That's about all I've got for you. Like I said, if you get out on the water, let us know how it's going. And if you've got a YouTube channel, send it my way so I can like it from the KFNW page and from my fishing page as well. I'd love to channel as well. I'd love to promote you and work with you on that. As always, if you've got any questions, reach out to me. I will, as soon as I get sponsorship a little further along, I will start building out these events on TourneyX and on the website so that you can start signing up. We'll get potholes up there pretty soon so that you can start signing up. All of our permits are approved at this point. Unless something shocking happens, I don't expect anything to change from this point going forward. All the opens are also lined up, so I don't expect any changes there, including the Flying Kayak Open down on Davis Lake. We're doing that again. If you'd like to fly fish for bass from a kayak, that's the event for you. It's the only one I know of in the entire country that's doing that. So I hope some of you will join us for that. Other than that, I bid you adieu and stay safe on the water.